In a small town on the northwest coast of America, where dense evergreen forests met the restless, wild ocean, lived Emma, a talented artist whose canvases pulsed with hidden passion. Her paintings depicted towering waves crashing against jagged cliffs, dark clouds swirling over a turbulent horizon, and solitary figures standing defiantly against the storm. Each stroke was a silent scream, reflecting the inner chaos she buried deep, a secret she'd learned to hide from the world. Raised in a conservative family where emotions were a luxury and true desires considered a weakness, Emma had mastered the art of wearing a mask, offering polite smiles to her parents and neighbors while stifling the fire within. Her days unfolded in a cramped studio above her family's garage, a sanctuary where she blended colors to express what words could not. The scent of oil paint and turpentine filled the air as she worked, but as dusk fell, loneliness crept in like the fog rolling off the sea, leaving her yearning for a connection to shatter her quiet existence. One stormy afternoon, with rain hammering the windows and thunder rumbling in the distance, Emma sought refuge in a cozy cafe on the town's edge. The place was a warm haven, its air thick with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and a hint of cinnamon. Behind the counter stood Sophia, a bartender with eyes the color of autumn leaves and a smile that could melt the iciest heart. Sophia had escaped the frenetic pace of a big city, fleeing a failed marriage to a man who never understood her soul. The scars of that union lingered, etched into her memory, but they hadn't broken her spirit. She poured her energy into crafting cocktails, as if mixing elixirs to heal the forgotten stories of those who crossed her path. That day, the cafe was nearly deserted, the storm keeping most away. When a lightning strike plunged the room into darkness, chaos erupted. A customer stumbled, shattering a glass with a sharp crash. Sophia sprang into action, her movements graceful yet assured. She lit candles, their soft glow illuminating the space, and began calming the patrons with a soothing voice that carried a quiet strength. As the candlelight flickered, Sophia's gaze met Emma's across the room. There was an instant spark, a silent recognition that neither could ignore, as if the storm outside had bridged their souls. "Are you okay?" Sophia asked, stepping closer with a concerned smile, her voice cutting through the tension. Emma nodded, though her hands trembled slightly as she clutched her sketchbook, a lifeline to her inner world. They struck up a conversation about the storm raging outside, about art as a refuge, about how life sometimes hits harder than the fiercest waves. When the power flickered back on, Emma hesitated, then left behind a quick sketch on a napkin, a portrait of Sophia, her eyes glowing in the candlelight, capturing the warmth Emma had felt. "This is you," Emma said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. "As bright as you were in the dark." Sophia tucked the napkin into her apron, her cheeks flushing with a shy smile, and the seed of something new was planted. Their encounters soon became a quiet ritual. Emma began visiting the cafe after her painting sessions, drawn by an inexplicable pull, and Sophia would prepare a special latte with a sprinkle of cinnamon, a small gesture that felt like a secret shared between them. Their conversations flowed like a river through the forest, easy, deep, and unhurried. Emma shared stories of her art, how the swirl of colors helped her express the unspoken pain and joy within, while Sophia recounted tales from the city, the noisy streets filled with strangers, the fleeting faces that came and went like tides, and the weight of a life she'd outgrown. Yet beneath this warmth lay a brewing drama. Emma was entangled in a relationship with Alex, a kind but uninspiring man her family had welcomed with open arms. It was a convenient union, a safe harbor approved by her parents, but devoid of the passion she craved, more like a still pond where no ripples stirred. Sophia, meanwhile, wrestled with the ghosts of her past. Her ex-husband still called occasionally, his voice a reminder of the normal life she'd abandoned, pleading for her return with promises she no longer believed. One chilly evening, after her shift, Sophia invited Emma to her modest home on the forest's edge, a quaint cabin with a stone fireplace she loved to light on cold nights, its crackling warmth a symbol of the comfort she sought to create. "Let's just talk," she said with a shy smile, her eyes searching Emma's. "I've got a bottle of wine I've been saving for a special moment." Emma agreed, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and nerves, sensing this was more than a casual invitation. They settled by the fireplace, the crackling flames casting a golden glow across the room, wrapping them in an intimate cocoon. The wine was a rich red, infused with notes of berries and spice, loosening their tongues as the night deepened. Sophia opened up about her childhood, her mother, a stoic woman who taught her to stand tall but never spoke of love or vulnerability. "I always felt like something was missing," she whispered, her voice trembling with the weight of buried truth. "Like a part of me was hidden away, waiting to be found." Emma listened, staring into the fire, feeling tears well up as she recognized her own story in Sophia's words. Me too, she confessed, her voice breaking. With Alex, everything's right on the surface, safe, predictable, but it's not me. In you, I see something I've never seen in anyone else. The air grew thick with tension, their words becoming more intimate, their laughter softer as the wine warmed their spirits. Sophia poured another glass, and as their hands brushed while passing it, time seemed to pause, the world narrowing to the space between them. Suddenly, a sharp knock shattered the moment. It was Alex, soaked from the rain, clutching a wilted bouquet of flowers. He'd heard from mutual friends that Emma was here, and his eyes burned with suspicion as he stepped inside. "What's going on?" he demanded, his voice cutting through the warmth like a blade. Emma froze, her heart splintering under the weight of his gaze. Sophia rose, her tone steady and calm. "We're just friends." But Alex's disbelief ignited a storm of words, accusations of betrayal, jealousy fueled by insecurity, and painful memories of promises broken. Emma tried to explain, her voice trembling as she stumbled over her words, but the argument escalated into a crescendo of raw emotion. Alex stormed out, slamming the door with a force that echoed through the cabin, leaving behind a silence as heavy as the fog over the ocean. Sophia returned to Emma's side, wrapping her in a comforting embrace, her touch a lifeline. "Don't cry," she murmured, her breath warm against Emma's ear. "You deserve to be yourself, not who they want you to be." They sank back by the fire, the wine soothing their frayed nerves, and the conversation shifted to dreams, of traveling the rugged coastline together, of Emma painting portraits inspired by Sophia's spirit, of a life unburdened by the masks they'd worn for so long. As the flames danced, casting shadows on the walls, Sophia leaned closer, her eyes searching Emma's. "I'm scared," she admitted, her voice a fragile whisper. "But I want this. I want us." Emma turned, her heart racing, and their lips met in a tender kiss, not wild or reckless, but warm and deliberate, like the fire beside them. It was a kiss that erased boundaries, awakening their souls with a gentle intensity. They pulled back, smiling through tears, the weight of the night lifting as they continued talking into the early hours, sipping wine, sharing secrets, and weaving a future from the threads of their past. From that night, their love blossomed quietly but powerfully. Emma ended things with Alex, enduring a tempest of family disapproval, her parents' disappointment, her sister's confusion, and the whispers of the town. But in that struggle, she found a freedom she'd never known. Sophia let go of her past, silencing the ex-husband's calls and anchoring herself in Emma's presence. They wandered the forests hand in hand, painted together in the studio, and sipped wine by the fireplace on cold evenings, each moment a testament to their choice. Their story wasn't a fairy tale but a real one, marked by doubts, tears, and the raw, imperfect beauty of two souls finding each other. They faced challenges. Emma's family eventually softened, though the rift lingered, and Sophia occasionally wrestled with the fear of losing this newfound happiness. Yet through it all, they chose vulnerability, building a life where love was not a perfect ideal, but a daily act of courage. They traveled the coast as dreamed, Emma's paintings now featuring Sophia's silhouette against the sea, and their cabin became a sanctuary of warmth and art. In the end, love was their anchor, a choice to be true to themselves, and they chose each other, night after night, by the fire's glow.